Stay out of grown-ass man business because you're not even a freaking man. You are a coward and you are a prick.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the reigning Olympia champion Samson Dauda going full throttle in the gym 7 weeks out of this year's Mr. Olympia. So those are legit 24 inches arms that Samson is rocking right now. And just take a look at the abs on him, which are popping even through his vest. So some of you guys might already follow TFE Media on IG, a very unbiased bodybuilding media outlet, and they cover a lot of bodybuilding shows in person. So this is the story that they put up on their IG today. So they must have seen Samson Dauda in person, going through those rounds of posing after today's workout. And just by looking at that kind of size that Samson has even now, and the kind of intensity Samson is showcasing in the gym, Samson is well on his way to present a package that's gonna be pretty damn hard to beat. Now we did saw this same kind of confidence from Samson Dauda before this year's Arnold, Ohio, and that just proved to us, no matter how good you're looking and how good you're feeling leading into the show, the one and the only thing that matters is how you look on the day of the show and how you compare with the competition standing next to you. And we did saw Samson Dauda missing his peak, especially at the prejudging at the Arnold this year. And the fact is, all of these top guys, they are simply way too close that the margin of error is almost zero for all of them. They all have to peak 100% in order to win the Olympia title. But the goal for Samson Dauda hasn't been any more clear than this, especially after him losing to Derek at the Arnold. Just come in absolutely ripped to the bone and bring a level of conditioning that the judges and the fans have never seen on him before, and then let the cards fall where they may. So can we all agree that if Samson Dauda brings a condition that we haven't seen from him before, if he closes that conditioning gap between him and Hadi and Derek and the mutant, the kind of size that he carries and the kind of muscle mass that he has, he's gonna be almost impossible to beat come Olympia this year. Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. So the king of classic physique Chris Bumstead finally responded to Urs switching over from classic into the men's open, and Cbum's comment that kind of started a fiery debate in the entire bodybuilding community, because what Chris said was, if some of these bigger classic physique guys, especially those who have a very hard time making the weight cutoff, if they switch over and they truly let their body grow, get bigger, and have a proper off-season, they are going to replace multiple open guys who are in the top 10 at the moment in the men's open. And he also did give Urs a big shout out, and he asked him to show the entire bodybuilding world what that elite classic physique conditioning looks like. And let me tell you guys something. When Cbum did that one show in the men's open in the post-Olympia tour, he was more professional on the stage than any other guy up there, including the 4th best bodybuilder in the world, Martin Fitzwater. And even Brett Wilkin admitted that he rattled up Martin Fitzwater, especially at the prejudging. And that is why so many people, they saw Cbum winning that show even against Martin. And we have to keep in mind, he did that show just 4 weeks after the Olympia. No big off season, just a bigger, more muscular physique, where he did not cut down his calories to make the weight cutoff, and he just came in a lot fuller. And now that Urs has permanently switched over into the men's open, it's gonna be really interesting to see how he does at the elite level, especially after going through a one proper off season. And let me tell you guys something, he's gonna blow up to 285 pounds in no time at all. He has been restraining his body for so many years, and now he's going to grow up like crazy once he pushes more food, and without that thought in his mind that he has to come down to a certain weight cap, which was the case even this year. Now, as far as Cbum's opinion is concerned, there are some guys like Ramon Dino, Wesley, even Laszlo, who will look so much better in the men's open if they take their time and have a proper off season. But that being said, there is this one aspect that Chris Bumstead missed here. Not every classic physique pro, they have the abilities to do all those things which are required to be in the men's open. First of all, more gear, more PEDs, and an even more difficult thing, that is pushing more food in order to grow and in order to maintain all that muscle mass. So Urs is trending all over the social media right now, and he has announced that he's doing both Italy Pro and Europa Pro Germany. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how his conditioning shines on the stage compared to some other guys like Quinton, Sergio, Mark Hector, as Urs was one of the most shredded guys in the entire classic physique division. So Rubiel Mosquera aka Nexzilla is now back in Spain, training with his coach Francisco Espen, who by the way did a phenomenal job with him over the course of this entire year, the 3 shows that they did together. And Rubiel won 2 of them, beating guys like Nathan Diasha, Bruno Santos, and also a couple of other guys too. Now it was a very long diet phase for Rubiel Mosquera this year, so he took a little break after winning Portugal Pro. But this is crunch time now, and this is where they start pushing really hard, especially in terms of that conditioning, to make a very solid impact at his Olympia debut come October. So the media sometimes puts way too much pressure on some of these guys, which in this case is Rubiel. I mean, the guy has already exceeded all the expectations by winning 2 shows back to back this year. And if we go a few months back, before Dubai Pro, many of us were even doubting whether Rubiel is even gonna compete this year. Now there are definitely some guys out there who must be in a way better conditioning than Nexzilla at 7 weeks out. But that being said, it's a good starting point for Rubiel Mosquera as well, as there is still plenty of time to fine-tune things and bring a more detailed and a more conditioned version to this year's Olympia stage. So all the comparisons of him with guys like the Mutant and Derek, they are gonna be simply pointless, as Rubiel's only competition at this point, that is to make sure that he brings a better physique than what we saw at Portugal Pro. But that being said, Rubiel is going to be among the crowd favorites, as people love the freaks, and he's among those guys who's gonna have one of the most anticipated Olympia debut, along with Good Vito this year.
Stay out of grown-ass man business, because you're not even a freaking man. You are a coward, and you are a prick. And you have no damn idea what you're talking about when it comes to the Master Olympia. You were not there. You don't even know how to analyze the real deal pictures. You can't even analyze the fact of the scorecards because you're so blinded by so much D that's in your face. I have no idea.
So things have gotten really ugly between Phil Clahar and Bob Shikaralo. Now if you insult a person who lost a show in the most unimaginable way possible, of course he's gonna come back right at you. And that is exactly what Phil did. Almost every bodybuilding media outlet, they were so shocked to see the difference in the overall scoring from the prejudging to the finals at the Masters Olympia this year. And this has never happened in the entire history of the sport. The one guy, which in this case is Phil Clahar, who was up by 8 points after the prejudging, he lost so much ground in a matter of just 3 hours that he lost to Dorian Haywood by 9 points, who by the way was in 3rd place after the prejudging. Now none of us were there, so why don't the IFBB, they just come out with a show breakdown? And that isn't something new. Tyler Mannion does that almost after every single show, especially when there is this whole controversy behind the judging at the Masters Olympia this year. So this would have been highlighted a lot more if this was a regular open show. But there is also kind of a reasonable argument that Bob also made. If they really wanted to screw Phil Clahar, and if they wanted him to lose the show, why did they give him a clear-cut first place after the prejudging?
Right. If they wanted to screw you, I hope you're listening, Phil, because I'm going to speak real slow and concise so you can understand this, the words coming out of my mouth. If they wanted to screw you, if they wanted you to not win, if they wanted to send a message to you, why on God's green earth would they have had you winning in the morning? Yeah.
So the response video from Phil, that also had some very personal attacks. But I must say Bob had that coming, because he also sounded very condescending in his YouTube video.
Back in the day, you may have had some type of looks, but boy, you are falling off right now. And I wouldn't even show my face. You know what you know how those, I forgot what the name of those dogs with the meat hanging from the side of their face. That's what you look like. Go get some sun. Go get some tan. Go get something. Go put on makeup.
Look, we weren't there at that show, and it is always said that unless you were there in person, you really cannot tell, since the physiques look very different in person in comparison to what we see in the pictures and the videos. But that being said, a bit of breakdown of this show from one of the judges that would certainly clear things up. So hit the thumbs up button if you like the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.